You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the June 10th meeting for the LaPorte County Drainage Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Call it June 10th, 2025, LaPorte County Drainage Board meeting call to order. Stand and have a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Present.
Jeff Mitzner.
Present.
Pat Vance.
Present.
John Matwishin.
Can I have approval of last month's meeting minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from last month.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Countywide stormwater ordinance or status quo?
Between John and I, just a real brief update. What we talked about last meeting was if it was going to go countywide, it would really need to come from the commissioners, so top down there. So John was looking into the individual drains or the individual ditches, and we talked about how you could increase assessments on there, maybe take it from that approach. I think what he'll report is that what he's finding so far is not unexpected. Most of them have already had that kind of one free increase where you don't have to have the formal long public meetings. And if that's the case, we'll need to identify which ones and probably consolidate efforts so you're not doing a bunch of public meetings throughout the rest of the year. Maybe pick a time to, if we're going to increase assessments, try to, do them all at once.
Yeah, I'm still in the process of looking them up, which ones have had the increase. The first 5 I've looked at have already had the increases. So I imagine it's probably going to be the same for the rest. But I'm going to make sure, go through and find proof in the minutes where we've approved the increase for each one.
When you're going through those, are all those hit the caps that you're finding?
Presently at the cap,
Yeah.
most of them, no, they're not at the cap right now. Most of them aren't,
Okay.
because we're still taking assessments for a lot of them.
Well, that's what I meant. Is there any that's already? I guess that's what we want to know too. Is while you're going through those, if they're capped, if they've already hit the assessment and,
Yeah,
and they hit their cap. I guess while you're doing that, you might as well.
Yeah.
look at that
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. White ditch maintenance project.
I just wanted to update that I sent out 18 certified letters on Friday to all the homeowners on the working side of the ditch. So we're probably going to have to find a different way of contacting people in the future because of the cost of the certified letters. They're almost $10 a letter, and I sent 18 out, so it's a pretty big chunk on the.
Okay.
Are you getting any feedback from any of the owners? Or are they contacting you when they get the letters? Or?
On these letters, I haven't, but I've gotten
just went out.
a handful of people. The previous letter I've gotten in contact with.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got anything on that? Okay. Drain crossing application, cable and drain, NIPSCO.
Okay. This one, most of the work is going to be outside of the 75-foot easement, but it does say on here that they're going to be replacing a lateral connecting to the cable and drain, and because of that, I think maybe we should have Tony take a look at it.
Okay, can I have a motion to that effect?
Make a motion that we have Tony review that drain crossing application for cable and drain.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bank spraying 2025.
The only thing I wanted to say about this is that it's going to be starting here within the week. The Heritage Drone Service will be starting the spraying. The 15th is on a Sunday, so I'm guessing he'll start on the 16th.
Okay, and I have talked to Jake on that, and he is not going to use crossbow now. He has switched to Garland.
Oh.
So that's a good thing for us. So
One thing we want to do from now on, I'll get with you, and we want to make sure that these guys are using, when they bid it, they use the product that we want to use. So
All right.
that's all I have on that. Beaver dam removal, West Arm Bull Ditch, Sam Martin.
Good morning. My name's Sam Martin. I live in Culver, Indiana, 11440, East 750 South. I did the beaver dam removal and beaver removal from the West Bull Ditch. After the May 13th meeting, I left the meeting and proceeded up to location to look it over. When I got there, I found the dam and I broke a hole in it to make sure that, you know, the next time, if you guys approve my work, the next time that I showed up on the property, that if the dam had been repaired, I'd know that there was currently still beaver babysitting that dam, and that they were going to pay attention again when I break another hole and start to trap them. After I got approval, I set traps on the 15th. The 16th, I had 2 catches. One was on a run leading from the swamp over into the ditch. It was a very active run. It was deep down inside of the water. Easy to find though, very, very active. And the other one I had on a, what would be called a caster mound set, just right next to it, about 5 feet away. Those 2 beaver were the only beaver that I caught in the situation. I trapped for approximately, I trapped until the 25th. I left iron out there trying to make sure that there was nothing that was going to come back. On the 20th, I decided that it was going to be the best idea for me to carve a big hole in the dam, so I carved out a 2-foot wide, 4-foot deep hole in the dam on the north side and did it with a pickaxe, and I rapidly reduced the amount of water that was being held up inside of the ditch and the swamp at that point in time. Not one time after I caught those 2 beaver did I ever see any activity of any other beaver trying to repair the dam or replace the dam. On the 24th, the stream had dried up that was coming from the field. That had all dried up. The field had dried up, and I had the excavator hit the ground at that point in time on the 24th. We got up in there, took out the rest of the dam, made sure that it was all dispersed and spread out up on the banks. And then on the 25th, I returned after a small amount more water had dissipated, and I walked the center of the ditch going all the way up to the road on the north side. Very nice ditch, good clay bottom, you can walk right up it. It never got much more than ankle deep on my boots, and at that point in time I considered the job done with no new activity, and that's when I reported to John. Is there any questions?
I don't have any. You good? Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Monthly reports, Hudson Lake.
Georgette Joy, 7299 East Hudson Point Lane, New Carlisle. The lake is around 6 inches. There's no incidents. We do need rain. The drain continued to be closed. The Taylor ditch was serviced on May 19th. It was graded and cleaned, and that was coordinated with John Law from St. Joe County. The drain, for the drain agreement, we have secured the mobile phones. I shared that with John to share it with the board. It's been shared with the community and the DNR. And so anybody who has lake level incidents should be calling 219-206-1259, or they could go issue a report on the Hudson Lake Conservation Association website on the event status page. Both will be monitored and dealt with as soon as possible. So that's good news. We for the LAIR grants, we had the visual survey was done on June 3rd. we'll be treating the EWM this week on June 12th, and then the starry stormwort wasn't in active growth, so we'll have to wait till the end of the month for them to figure out what to treat and when to do that. It's probably over 7 acres to treat in Little Hudson. That'll probably be done at the end of June and the beginning of July. We want to shout out to Amazon, who gave us a nice grant for helping with the lake with invasive species and dredging, so yay. Thank you to them. And then the sediment removal will be started after the 4th of July. And again, the ramp could be closed. They'll have barrels up, and they'll try to remove some, so there'll be access to go to and from West Hudson to East Hudson. Any questions?
Yeah, actually, I have a question. After you had contacted me and said that St. Joe County had cleaned the ditch, I went up and looked at the outlet area, and it didn't look like they had done any work in where the outlet is, the fallen trees. Was that not part of the process?
Yeah, they were going to. I didn't do any survey of that. So would you reach out? You want me to reach out to John, or do you want to reach out to John?
It's up to you.
I know that they had the grading and everything to do further down.
Yeah.
So the pig farm didn't flood.
Yeah, but that was part of it, though, right? They were going to remove all the
That's what
fallen
I
trees
thought.
in the.
That's what I asked.
Okay.
I did ask. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, and we have no issues with farmers and that, so they could do that at any time. But yeah, we definitely want them to do it before we have to do anything. We've been in the drought, so we haven't had to open the drain, but we certainly don't want that clogging anything.
Yeah, because there's a lot of down trees in there, in that outlet area.
Huh.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I
Where
do. I know exactly
there's
what you're
one
talking about.
that's-
It's weird because I brought the insurance lady there to be looking for the liability stuff,
Okay.
but we didn't go that far down. We didn't
Okay.
go, where it is just before the houses. So all right. So the question is, do you want me to call John?
Sure.
or do you-
Yeah, I didn't know if you were expecting that to be done or.
Yeah, I did. I
okay.
did. I just didn't look to see that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That was
Thank
it.
you. Anybody else?
Oh, all right,
Good,
thank you.
thanks.
Brad?
No report.
John?
Nothing to report.
Nothing on joint boards. Can I have a motion to accept the claim at Bull Ditch Beaver Dam removal, Sam Martin, 3,425.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
White Ditch Emergency Tree Removal, Alsop Excavating, 2,850.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then we have $2,485 available in the engineer fund yet. So, is there any public comment? Come to the mic, please.
I'm Ben Long with NIPSCO, and it kind of went over quick, so I was just wondering when you said you were going to go to review, the kind of timeline on that. This project is moving pretty quick.
I'll send it over to Tony today. He's usually pretty quick about it, less than a week, I would guess.
Okay.
He'll get it done.
And does it have to come back to this board for approval on the next meeting then?
No, I don't think so. Right?
No,
Once we send it to
once
Tony.
Tony approves it, we can move forward.
Yeah,
Because we're looking maybe end of July to get that, started, so,
Yeah, we'll definitely have it back to you by then.
okay.
Yeah, because we don't have a meeting in July, so it'll go to the contracted surveyor. He'll give the approval. The board approved it, subject to his review.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Public comment? Okay, the next meeting will be August 12th, 8:30 in this room. July meeting is canceled because of the fair. A motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Efficient.